Shalom, giving all praises and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Hakodash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that rule well, and Shalom to the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel and the rest of the elect that are destined to be saved. I'm the Brother Kalab from the GMS UK London Forecasters Camp, coming back at you with another lesson to help edify those of which I spoke of. So I was just doing a search here on Google, and I typed in, is alcohol killing more women than men? And here's the AI overview. It says, yes, data indicates that alcohol-related deaths are rising faster among women than men, though more men still die from alcohol-related causes overall. This trend is concerning as it highlights a growing issue of women drinking more and experiencing the health consequences sooner. Here is a more detailed look at the issue. Rising mortality rates. The Independent reported that alcohol-related deaths among women in the UK increased by 37% between 2016 and 2021, while the increase for men was 29% over the same period. Gender gap closing. While men still die from alcohol-related causes more frequently than women, the gap is narrowing and the rate of increased deaths is higher for women. Increased consumption. The New York Times reported that the government survey found that women, especially in their 30s and 40s, are drinking more frequently and heavily than their male peers. Now, this is interesting because a lot of women in their 30s and 40s, that's around the time when, their biological clocks start to slow down, and a lot of them start to face the realities of hitting the wall where, they may have been able to, get a man in their, late teens, early 20s, mid 20s without a problem. Once they start to hit around age 30 and they haven't, settled down with a man or had children, a lot of them start to get depressed because they start to desire those things. And, a lot of them start trying to go for IVF treatments to conceive a child, and it don't work and all this kind of shit. So that's around the time when the grim realities of the harsh realities of life start to hit them more. So you can see a correlation of that and their increased alcohol consumption because, what do they say? Drown your sorrows. They turn to the bottle and it starts fucking them up even more. Biological differences. Women process alcohol differently than men, with lower enzyme levels and less body water, making them more susceptible to alcohol-related health problems like liver disease and certain cancers. Now, I want to get a precept on that because the scriptures talk about the woman being a weaker vessel. Let me get that one. Bear with me, I'm just pulling a precept here. Come on. Yeah, this is First Peter 3 and verse 7. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honour unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and that being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. So it says that the wife is the weaker vessel. So women are the weaker vessel. And it's proven here where it says biological differences. Women process alcohol differently than men, with lower enzyme levels and less body water, making them more susceptible to alcohol-related health problems like liver disease and certain cancers. Mental health connection. Women may be more likely to use alcohol to cope with mental health issues like anxiety and depression, leading to increased alcohol misuse. They call that self-medicating. When you've got a certain health condition and you do something to try and combat the situation, but really it's not helpful, that's called self-medicating. Like, for example, with mental health issues, some people turn to drugs or alcohol more to try and alleviate the symptoms they've got from their health condition, and in reality they're only making the condition worse. That's referred to as self-medicating. Cultural shifts, cultural factors, and increased social acceptance of alcohol consumption may also be a contributing factor to the rise of drinking among women. Yeah, that's true, because Esau markets this thing to women, and they take what he says and run with it, when really it's to their own detriment. Esau's gassed these women up to think that they can do everything that a man can do, and a natural way of a woman, she has that of wisdom, so she'll run out and do that, not realizing that she's destroying herself in the process. Need for awareness. It is crucial to raise the awareness about the risks of alcohol consumption for women and encourage healthy drinking habits. Now it says here, research shows that while men are still more likely to die from alcohol-related diseases, the gap is narrowing. The most recent figures published in 2024 found that the deaths of women have risen at a rate of 35%, while men increased just 27%. 8 things we've learned about how alcohol harms the body. Let's go into that. Oh crap, I can't read this article because it's asking me to subscribe. I ain't subscribing to this shit. Right. Yeah, it's not gonna let me read that. Fuck that. Alcoholism in women is increasing as a growing number of young women turn to alcohol to cope with mental health issues. As rates of anxiety and depression rise among young adult women, alcohol misuse is also going up along with health-related risks. Why is alcohol more harmful for women? Women have lower levels of ADH, meaning that they have less ability to metabolize the alcohol. Women experience shrinking brain tissue and declining brain function and damage faster than men as a result of alcohol use. Which gender is more affected by alcohol? Women. Women are at greater risk for damage in the liver and pancreas from alcohol. Men also develop these drinking-related health problems, but due to many factors, the rate at which the health is affected is accelerated for women. Women are more likely than men to develop high blood pressure due to drinking. There you go. Why females become more intoxicated more quickly when it comes to drinking alcohol? Abstract. Women appear to become more impaired than men after drinking equivalent amounts of alcohol, achieving higher blood alcohol concentrations even when doses are adjusted for body weight. This finding may be attributable in part to gender differences in total body water content. Right, so I want to get this one. This is Isaiah 32:9. It says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, and for the pleasant fields, and for the fruitful vine. Yeah, basically, what I'm saying is that a lot of you women who are at ease, living la vida loca, as they say, living a life crazy, and basically in that mirth spirit in this kingdom, it's all coming to an end, man. It's all coming to an end because if you're in London around here, and you go certain parts of London Friday, Saturday night, you see all these girls going out, getting wasted, staggering up and down the pavement, looking like complete idiots. We used to see it when we was on Oxford Street as well. They're in that mirth spirit, and that mirth spirit is not gonna last for a multitude of factors. First of all, women can't sustain this type of lifestyle because their bodies weren't made to handle it, as I've brought out here in these little excerpts I've read here about the differences about men and women in terms of alcohol consumption and its effects. But furthermore, there's not going to be no way to drown your sorrows and escape the fact that the Lord Yahushua is coming to return. And if you ain't right when the Most High sends Yahushua back, that's going to be your ass, man. You're going to get caught out here, and you're going to be totally through. What does the scripture say? Let me just get this one. This is 1 Timothy 2 and verse 11. It says, let me read from actually verse 9, 2 Timothy 2 and verse 9. In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety. Now let me get to this word sobriety.
Strong's G 4997. Sophrasune. Sophrasune.
Sophrasune. It means soundness of mind, self-control, sobriety. There you go. Sobriety, soberness. Strong's definition of a soundness of mind, literally sanity or figuratively, self-control, soberness, sobriety. So soberness, what does it mean when someone's not drunk? They're called sober. Let's get this one. Let me get this to the Common Dictionary. There you go. Sobriety, the state or quality of being sober, rather than intoxicated. Temperance or moderation, especially in the use of alcoholic beverages. The condition of a person addicted to alcohol or some other mood-altering substance who successfully abstains from its use and from other associated habits while addressing the root causes of dependency and adopting a new outlook on life. She turned herself around after entering a treatment center with staff who never gave up on her until she achieved sobriety. Even once you have attained sobriety, recovery is a lifelong process. Definition 4, seriousness, gravity, or solemnity. Our farewell gathering for the 6 laid off employees was an event marked by sobriety. Yeah. So this isn't to say that people can't drink, because that's drinking's not against the law, but you got to do it in measure and order. And the point I'm making is that a lot of these women in this society, they take things to the extremes. So they're always on a Friday night, on a Saturday night, they're out there gadding abroad, which a woman isn't supposed to be doing anyway. Gallivanting in these nightclubs, as they say, riding the cock carousel, drunk out of their heads. That's not how a woman is supposed to behave. Read it again, 2 Timothy 2:9. In like manner also the women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broidered hair or gold or costly or pearls or costly array, but which becometh women, professing goodliness with good works. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Notwithstanding, here's the point, she shall be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety. So this gives you the structure of how a woman is supposed to be. And furthermore, a woman is saved through childbearing. Now, does that mean bearing any old child from any old man? No. A woman is saved by childbearing if that man happens to be a member of the elect. So while in the current times a lot of these women are running around with every Tom, Dick and Harry, there's going to come a time when they're going to realize that really the man that they should have been seeking after, the true high value man that will be able to grant them salvation, is going to be a man of the Lord, meaning an elect man from the nation of Israel. So for those brothers out there who might be in the faith and don't have a woman at this particular point in time, don't worry about that, man. Be patient, and in due time, the tide is going to turn. And whereas you might not have any women checking for you right now, you're going to have flocks of women checking for you, and you're not even going to know what to do. You're going to have to turn some of them away because there'll be too many. A woman shall take... I'll let you get that one. I'll close it on this one. Several women shall take hold of one man, saying we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. That's in Isaiah 4:1, I think, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I brought that out. Where are we? Isaiah 4:1. Yes, Isaiah 4:1. I was on the money. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So how does a woman take a man's name? By marrying him. That's why even in this society, they go off in terms of having these church sanctioned weddings. In those cases, the woman takes the man's surname. But really, the woman takes the man's surname when they marry. And according to the law of the Bible, marriage is actually sex. So when you have sex with a woman, she becomes your wife. That's why it's saying here, only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach, because a woman's reproach will be taken away if she, gets with a man of the Lord, a man of the elect of the nation of Israel. So the tide is turning. The tide is turning. This current society, this system can't be sustained because it's unsustainable. But what's coming is the kingdom of heaven. And in the kingdom of heaven, things are going to play out as these scriptures have stated. That's the way things are going to play out in the kingdom. So Lord willing, this was an edifying quick hit lesson. So with that, I want to once again give all praises, honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Hakodash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone all well. Shalom to the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel and the rest of the elect that are destined to be saved. And I'll catch you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Shalom for now.